Hey, look at this. How cool is this? Courtesy of the Virginia Film Office and part of our mission here at the Virginia Film Festival. Thank you for your support. We're celebrating 30 years this year. And this is my 9th Virginia Film Festival. And, you know, I cannot say enough what a privilege it has been for me and my wife and my family to be part of this community, and for me to be in this position of serving as director of the Virginia Film Festival and working at the University of Virginia. I would like to acknowledge and recognize and thank Pat Hogan, Chief Financial Officer of the University. I can't thank you enough for your support, both of the Virginia Film Festival and for my work personally here. It's been incredible, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you, Pat. You saw Pat featured here in his film. I understand we're going to have to pay him for that participation. His agent called me just the other day. Anyway, we'll talk about that. You know, every time this year we try and gather people together, and this is such an extraordinary community, and it's also been a very difficult and painful time for our community, both at the university and in Charlottesville and throughout. Very, very tough time. And part of what we do here at the Virginia Film Festival is we respond. We respond to what's happening in our community with programming that we feel is compelling and important and deals with a lot of important issues. This is a great opportunity for us to bring people together. We do this every year, and generally I announce one thing, which is what I'm going to do tonight. But it's a very important and key component of this year's programming that I hope you'll find to be compelling and important. So I want to take you through a little bit of a trip down memory lane, first of all, and share with you some of the things. First and foremost, we are a program of the University of Virginia and have been so for the past 30 years. That is what distinguishes this film festival from the 1,500 other plus film festivals across this country. One of the extraordinary things is the intellectual and cultural firepower we can bring through our academics who can frame the films and add an expert frame of reference to these films in the presentation. But we also bring in outside experts in our community and from beyond as well to engage our community in important discussion. I think we do that as well or better than any other film festival in the nation. And I hang our hat on that as well moving forward. It's what makes me very proud of this festival and proud to be part of this community. The film festival is presented by the Joseph and Robert Cornell Memorial Foundation, Richard M. Ader and Joseph Erdman trustees. Now, I owe a tremendous amount of thanks to Joe Erdman and the support of the Cornell Memorial Foundation. Not only have they been transformative in their support of the Virginia Film Festival, which has allowed us each and every year to provide a bigger, better, more dynamic, better programmed festival for our community, but Joe's support for the arts here throughout Charlottesville, and particularly at the University of Virginia, has been completely transformational. So thank you, Joe. I'd like to offer special thanks to Keswick Hall and Golf Club for being supporting sponsors of this evening's stakeholders reception. Thank you for your support as well, and thank you for joining us in sponsorship this year. Thank you. And now this is a stakeholders meeting because everybody who's here tonight is either a sponsor, a patron, a supporter, or a friend, or an influencer in this community. So we're going to take a little walk down memory lane, the 2016 year in review. Our special guests in film screenings, we opened with Loving, and we had Jeffrey Nichols and Colin Firthman, and 38 members of the Loving family on hand. It was an extraordinary evening. We had 43 sold-out screenings events and more than 200 films that we brought to our community here in Charlottesville. We also had a number of film icons, including a conversation with Leo Bowman that was extraordinary. Danny McBride hitting the pop culture wars here for us. We had 2 records this year, 207,000 and change in total ticket sales and over 32,000 total tickets issued. The 8th straight record in a row. Nice growth to have for the Virginia Film Festival. Other legends include Shirley MacLaine. If you weren't there that evening, you missed it. It was truly transformative. My favorite part of the evening was just, you've seen all the clips in my movies. Let's just talk about me. And they went on a 2-hour journey through her life. It was really extraordinary. And think about that. Nobody will ever have an opportunity to see that. Same thing with Werner Herzog, and my hat's off to our programmer, Wesley Harris, who's a former UVA alum. Werner was his thesis, so how fortunate were we to have Wesley as our programmer for this discussion. And over 175 guest artists that were brought in. I guess the CACB appreciates that as well. A lot of hotel rooms filled. Ron Owen and Cornelia Susskind. Ron is a graduate of the University of Virginia, an alum, won the Pulitzer Prize for his work Life Animated, about the special relationship with his son Owen Susskind, who has autism, and how they began to communicate through classic Disney films. And Robert Schenken, who won the Pulitzer Prize for the Kentucky Cycle as well. He was in for HBO's All the Way, a story of LBJ. Our Family Day. Over 2,000 people attended. 453 elementary and middle school students from 8 local schools participated in our Young Filmmakers Academy, where they write, produce, edit, and star in their own short films. And we put out like a Hollywood entranceway for them. They have a step and repeat and red carpet, and moms and dad takes their photos. It builds unbelievable self-esteem, and they start getting the idea of how to write and tell their own stories. And over 700 high school students attended the free high school screening. And we have an extraordinary record of having curriculum-driven films that we present each and every year. A lovely quote from Don Hahn, legendary Disney producer. He was in for the 25th anniversary screening of Beauty and the Beast with Paige O'Hara, the voice of Belle, and also produced Lion King and turned the Disney shop around back to incredible animation. Been to hundreds of festivals over the year, and without question, you have all provided the most warm and welcoming environment of filmmakers anywhere. That was not us, although my staff does a remarkable job with our guests. That was Charlottesville. That was all of you welcoming our guests. So thank you for that. I've got to say that over the years, this is what I hear about our guests coming in. Everybody was so cool. They were lovely to hang out with. They asked such intelligent questions. I felt respected. I felt that my art was respected. And that my intellect was respected. And I think that that's what we do better than any other film festival that I've attended. And I attend a lot, I might add. And finally, a shout out to our design team, Darcy and the rest of her cohorts at Bottom Design. We hope, just like the Virginia Moths in this image, that you will be attracted to the flame of the film festival as well this year. But thank you for all your incredible work in highlighting. So now I want to talk to you about our special announcement. I talked earlier about how every year our programming rises to important topical issues, things that we believe will resonate in our community or are important on a national or international level. A perfect example would be a number of the films that we dealt with refugees last year in the ongoing international refugee crisis. Back in March, I sat down with Kat Imhoff, who is the director of James Madison's Montpelier, and Giles Morris, the vice president of communications there. And we discussed the idea of exploring a program that deals with the living legacies of slavery. And a number of filmmakers and artists that we might invite into Charlottesville and screen their films and have a symposium, and we started to work on that. And you know, the crazy thing about planning a film festival is, you can plan the most brilliant film festival in the world, and you still have to get the people to show up. They have schedules, they're real people, they have cousins and nieces and nephews, and people that get married, and other events and vacations and stuff like that. So it doesn't always work out like planned. Well, a little bit more about Montpelier. It's an extraordinary place out there. For years it was the historic mansion for James Madison, his home, the largest single slave owner in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And Montpelier was in right in the throes of opening a stunning new exhibition that deals with slavery and recreating the original slave dwellings and the buildings that actually served as servants' quarters for the cooking of the food, the maintenance of the plantation itself. That happened in June this year with an extraordinary celebration and dedication ceremony, and also the revealing of their new exhibition, The Mere Distinction of Color, because our former President James Madison said we were really separated by that mere distinction of color. And so we decided to explore this program with a number of films and artists. And I'm not going to reveal all of them tonight because this is an ongoing series of films that we're programming during the festival itself. But I'm very proud to announce that we're bringing in Spike Lee. And this invitation went out all the way back in early May, but he called me immediately following the recent events in Charlottesville, and we had a long talk on the phone, and we talked about how his coming here might serve as a response. And we're going to be screening his film, For Little Girls, a documentary film about the bombings of the young girls in Alabama in 1963 in the church. We're also screening another video film that he's done recently, I Can't Breathe, about the death of Eric Garner while he's here. This is actually Spike's second return. He was here in 1993 at the University of Virginia to speak, but this is his first time coming back for the Virginia Film Festival. He feels that this particular film, For Little Girls, deals with domestic terrorism, and this is a direct opportunity to address that. I can't tell you how thrilled and honored I am to have this significant artist come to the Virginia Film Festival, particularly at this moment in time, to talk about these issues. So I feel we're very fortunate. I'm grateful for the partnership with Montpelier as well. And you know, it's kind of funny. Montpelier's less than 20 miles from here. If you haven't been out there and you haven't seen this exhibition, it's extraordinary. The level of scholarship, the narrative from the descendants out there for this exhibition is really quite amazing. It's also got a pretty incredible view of the Blue Ridge Mountains, I might add as well too. So it's well worth going out there if you haven't. So thank you as well for the partnership. We're very grateful. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is that this is not all that's happening at the festival. Wesley and I leave for the Telluride Film Festival on Thursday morning. It's tough. It really is. It's hard. You know, you have to travel in a shuttle through these box canyons and everything. But we're going to be watching films over that 5-day weekend. These are some of the last films that we're going to select, along with the New York Film Festival films and, of course, Toronto, which is one of the largest film festivals in the world. And on September 26th, we'll announce the bulk of the rest of our program and other guests that we're bringing in. So mark that down on your calendar, September 26th, because that's when all that's going to happen. In the meantime, if you haven't become sponsors again of the festival this year, it's a great time to think about doing that. You know that our sponsors also generally have first crack at the tickets that are out there. But more than anything, I am incredibly grateful for the support that all of you have shown this festival over the last couple of years. It's grown tremendously. I think it's something that we can all be proud of that represents Charlottesville in this community. It's about storytelling and what incredible and vibrant stories these filmmakers, these artists have to tell. And more than anything, what an opportunity in a very accessible way to open up our community to incredible dialogue about a myriad of subjects that are so important. So I encourage you to attend. Look for September 26th. We honor and so appreciate your sponsorship, and I wish you all the best till then. Thank you for coming out tonight.